This is Dr. Roz.
And your man Kil back again for another week at SoDefinitely.com.
We are doing a series on the vows. So the marriage vows. So we've talked about commitment.
Talked about sickness and health.
And now we're talking about the whole richer or poor aspect. It's quite funny because Kil is hazing me, guys. I was outside protesting at the Occupy DC, and he thought I was out there playing. I had a sign and everything, and he wouldn't take a picture. I gave it back by the time you came, but I did have a sign, and I was like, Occupy DC. I believe in the cause.
That's good.
But I can't be out there all day because I got to work.
Right.
I can't be that dedicated. So, but, while I was out there, I just had like an epiphany that there are so many people that are going through issues. Even in my own marriage, there's been times when, during this recession that my husband or myself, we've been out of work, and it's just like, are we really going to make it? Just because this recession has been really hard, and it really makes you think about the whole richer or poor aspect. Like how far does poor go?
I don't know. I think it goes back to why you're dating somebody in the first place. I think not that there aren't men who like marry for money, because there are, but I think, my opinion, there's more women who marry towards money.
I think theory for that, though.
What's your theory, Roz?
Well, because one of the most primary needs for women is security.
Okay.
So while it may look like, I hate that term, the freaking gold digger or whatever. While it may look like that, it's really not. Women just want to feel secure. You got to think about it. We go from our father's house, if we're lucky to have a father, to, our husband's house, or, college or whatever. And so we're always in that situation of where that man is being a provider. Okay. So it feels, so we like to know if we have a mate that he'll provide for us.
And you know what, Roz? That sounds real good. That's eloquently put. But did your dad have a Benz? No. So why does your man have to have a Benz? I'm not saying for you. I'm just saying in general for women who are quote unquote gold diggers. They're not looking for a dude with an Accord who can provide. They want the man with the Benz. They want the person with the BMW.
Want a higher level.
So
of security.
I'm just telling you that was eloquently put. Sounded good. But at the end of the day, you want things that your father didn't have. So I don't have a problem with a woman saying I want a man who can take care of me, but to me that comes down to the character of the man.
No, I understand.
It's about, can you bounce back? So that was good. Put.
But it's great that you said the character of the man, because one thing that was very important for me in deciding on whether to say I do to Frank was the idea that I know that he'll work 5 jobs before he actually get one. Okay. So if it's ever an issue of him having to take care of home, I never have to worry about that, because just even when we were dating, he showed that he had the intention of being a provider.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's, for him, when, because my husband worked at Fannie Mae when everything, hit the fan. So he had the choice of his pension or lose his job, where he's in IT. So, he was like, oh, well, everybody needs IT, but it just really wasn't that easy.
Right.
We could talk about it now because it's our testimony. He's in a much better place now, but it was really rough for a moment there. But through it all, my husband still provided, and he still went out of his way to take care of us. And my income wasn't even a factor, believe it or not. So it's things like that. Like if he were to lose his job today or say I quit today, I wouldn't be worried. Right. Like that is the dude I could go for richer or poor with, because I know at the core of him, he has a phenomenal work ethic, and he will work and he will provide for his family. So when I say that whole stability factor, never an issue, never really had to think about it with him, because from the beginning of our dating, he showed those type of, tendencies to take care of me.
Right. And I think that's a good thing, and that goes back to getting to know the person and knowing their character. But for a lot of people, it's what they see on the outside.
Yeah.
I know a racket chicks who won't date a teacher.
Yeah, I think that's great.
You know what I'm saying? And and I'm like, even if that's their calling, even if you can go to their classroom and you can see how they enjoy teaching, how the kids are receptive to them, they're like, nah, don't make enough money. You know, do they have goals of becoming something else? You know, and it's just like, but what if they just want to teach? Good guy, you know, but there are women who are just like, nah, you know, you have to be on my level. If I'm a lawyer, I want to date a lawyer. You know, if I'm a doctor, I want to date a doctor. If I'm a, you know, so I think those are the things. And then what happens when you're dating a doctor and something happens and they're let go, or the lawyer gets fired, or a great example is Soul Food, the movie, when Miles said, hey, I want to do my music dream. You know what I'm saying? And Terry is like, nah, you're a lawyer. You work for a prestigious law firm, and you're making this money, and this is how much money we have in the savings that's mine. And, you know, so you have, when you're looking for that, you got to understand that, again, you're talking about a lifelong commitment. And so many people are in, they change, but people are in jobs that they may have been, that look like this is the perfect job for me. Like, this is a good outline for me to make a lot of money. Because that's usually how we're taught and raised to do, you know, make money. It's really not about happiness. What makes you happy? It's about what makes you.
What are you good at, and what kind of money?
What makes you a lot of money? Now, when you get to be around our age, the 30s, the late 30s, you start thinking, I don't like this. You know, I want to do something. However old you are, I don't even.
Still 19.
Right. So, to the point of, you kind of wake up one day and like, I don't like being a lawyer.
Yeah.
I do want to be an artist. So I do want to be X, Y, and Z. Is your wife going to be okay with you saying, okay, let's travel that road? Now, I have no problem with y'all having to sit down and look at the finances. Like, okay, well, how are we going to... So I'm not saying it's just going to be, hey, I decided, I want to go work for NASA and be an astronaut. You know, and it's like, well, how are we going to pay? No, you got to sit down and see how you can work things out. But like you said, if it's a situation where, if it's... I've learned in a lot of marriages there are terms. So it's kind of like, this is your turn to go back to school and do your thing. I'll hold down the family, and then eventually it may be my turn. And there may be sometimes that there is no turn. It's just like, hey, you're the more artistic one, so I'm going to hold you down. Whatever you need to do, I'm willing to support, and we're willing to try. But I just think at the end of the day, when you come into marriages like, well, he has a Benz, he makes $100,000, he does this, he does that. I mean, it can come and go, like you said, and it makes for the perfect Ebony story. It makes for the perfect cover of Ebony, and look at the cars, look at the houses.
Jet,
and,
when you announce that you're married,
Jet, you know, look at the dogs and look at the beautiful house. But at the end of the day, the marriage is dying. People can't stand each other.
What's going on behind all that beauty? Right.
So at the end of the day, we're just saying that you got to look at the character of a person, because whether you know it or not, it's just like we said with sickness and in health. You're going to go through financial ups and downs.
And I don't care how educated you are.
I don't care, exactly. I don't care how educated you are. I don't care how much money comes from. I know people who are like, well, you know, my dad got money, so I'm not worried about X, Y, and Z. Then their father passed. They think they're getting all the money, but the money went to the mistress. Or, you know, it's all kinds of things. So no matter what happens, those things that are talked about in the vows, and that's why we're talking about it, because I got a lot of friends, like just in the past week, who I found out are going through divorces. Like friends, plural. So it's one of those things where we're talking about the vows, because I think even when I heard them, when I said them 11 years ago, I wasn't thinking sickness and health. I wasn't thinking, you know, rich or poor. You know, I wasn't thinking any of those things. But those are serious things that you have to think about. Right. But it's about being able to really sit down and honestly say, can I be with this person if he or she didn't have everything that they have right now, you know, because you got some people who just, she got a master's plus and she's got her PhD like you or something like that.
That means nothing, and then, though, if I become disabled and can't work. What good is that going to do?
So it's one of those things where you have to look at the worst case scenario. You know, worst case scenario, would I want to put up with this person and love this person for the rest of my life if they're sick? Would I want to put up and work with, you know, be with this person if this person loses their job? Because keep in mind, I'm in no way saying that, we're in no way saying that you should just be poor. Like, you should just marry some dude who doesn't have anything, you know.
If your light's getting turned out every week, every month, what is it? When the bill comes? Every month. That's a little
I'm not saying that you should be with somebody who's poor. What we're just saying is that, and I think what the vows are saying is that they're going to be ups and downs. And we don't really look at it like that. We just look at it like everything is going to be the way it is right now. It's great. It's wonderful. We're in love, the passion, the energy, the oomph, all that stuff, the money, the vacations, all those things are there. But could you be with this person if you don't go on vacation 4 times a year? Can you be with this person if you only go on vacation once a year. I know some couples that kill them. Like, nah,
Yeah.
we go on vacation
Yeah.
quarterly.
Yeah.
If that quarter ain't there, then nah, I got to get with somebody who can get me somewhere quarterly, you know. So we're just saying at the end of the day that it's going to be those ups and downs. It's going to be some good times. It's going to be, I've learned one thing through marriage, it's seasons.
Yeah.
The same way we have seasons with winter, spring, summer, fall, and it's the same way with your marriage. So I always tell people, if you're in a good season, live it up, enjoy it, love it. Because trust me, it's not hate, but a bad season is gonna come your way. I'm sorry, it's just that's just part of the
It's reality.
game. That's like saying, okay, I'm just enjoying the summer weather and it's gonna stay like this forever. No, it's not.
Yeah.
You'd be a fool to think it's gonna be summer, but you know what some people do? What do?
They
move to the I'm talking about they move to the West Coast, so it can be summer all year long. There ain't no way, and you know what moving in is marriage, getting a divorce.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move because I want it to be sunny all year round.
Yeah.
I don't want no storms. I don't want no bad weather. I want it to be sunny. So then you move to the next person, and you realize it's gonna be storms with them too. You move to Cali, now you gotta deal with earthquakes.
Yeah.
You know, so it's gonna be something. You can't just move. So when you realize, like, look, good times are here, enjoy them. And I mean, live them up. Because like I told my man the other day, God forbid, any part of your day, you could get that phone call and everything just fall apart.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything just changed, whether it's financial, whether it's health. Your husband was just in a car accident. So you got to enjoy those times. You can't run away from life. You know, so it's about finding somebody that you can get with.
I like that.
What?
No running away from life.
You can't.
It's going to be
part of the game. You can do whatever you want to do. But so many people try it. So many people try, well, let me freeze myself after I die so then I can come back. Y'all think I'm joking, but there's people out there who really think that they can cheat the bad things coming from life.
And you can't.
And you can't. It's just going to come. Even me, growing up, I'd be like, I'd always just prepare for the worst because I was a pessimist. So it would be like, well, let me prepare for not getting a job. So then when I don't get it, I won't be disappointed. Disappointment is part of life. You can't, you know, when I was driving myself crazy trying to, and then not even shooting for anything. Not leaving the job interview like, oh, I feel good. I just always believe like I didn't get it. So then if I don't get it, I didn't even get excited. But you can't cheat. I mean, it's part of the game. It's just what you got to do is learn to deal with it. That's what we don't, as people do. We don't want to learn to deal with the disappointment that comes. So it's like, I didn't get the job. I'm disappointed. Move on to the next thing. And it's the same thing. You're going to have hard times in your marriage.
That may not be the place for you. That may not be where God wants you to be.
You're going to have hard times in your marriage, and you just got to try your best to work through. So with the richer for poor, you know, don't look for a dude for what he has.
Don't look for a woman for what he has.
For what she has.
Yes, for what she has. I know a lot of brothers that are like, cha-ching.
Right.
You know, and it's like, really? To me, that's just, you're a little shiftless. I can't deal with a man that does not want to carry his weight, per se.
Right.
To me, that's a huge characteristic flaw.
Right.
Because if you're not carrying your weight while we're dating, well, what happens when we have for real issues in the marriage? Right. What happens if the kid gets sick? What happens if, what happens if the spouse gets sick? At some point, you got to show some kind of commitment of carrying your weight. And I'm not saying you got to make all the money in the world, but the little bit of money that you do make or whatever you bring to the table, make it count. Right. Make it count for something. I mean, there are a lot of couples that I know where the wife may make more than the husband or whatever, and that's all fine. That's not an issue. But still, if you are that husband that's making less than a wife, you still can be a provider. Don't let that be like an issue in your marriage.
Right.
And chicks, stop throwing it up in their face. You know what I mean? Stop throwing it up in their face. You just find a budget and how things work for you and your marriage.
She's always made more money than me, and I love it personally. I can care less. I don't care. But like
Frank's
I said,
like,
for me,
you want to make $1 million? Go for it.
For me, I really, that's never fazed me. You know, and I've never been ashamed to say that. Like, there's some men who are like,
who ashamed,
I don't care who. Because it's ours. You know, it's really literally that's yours and this is mine. It's an our thing. Yeah. But, it's part of the game.
That's part of maturity, too. You gotta, marriage will make you grow up. I don't care who you are. Marriage.
If you stay married.
If you stay married, it'll make you grow up. And you have a different perspective on life and a different perspective on things.
Mm-hmm. So, That's it for this week till death. That's the richer for poor. So chicks, stop looking for dudes who got this kind of car and how much money he makes and all those things. Because
dudes, stop being shiftless.
Shiftless, good word.
Yeah, I don't like that shiftless name.
Yeah. Look for a person.
In the dictionary.
You know, the most important thing to be looking for is for women, a man who you know, like you said with Frank, will go out and get 5 jobs and take care of you. Because that's the most important thing. It's not about what job he has.
What job he
it's
has.
about
is he willing
what
does the work ethic
is he willing
like?
to go to the mattresses and do what he has to do to keep food on the table?
Yeah.
I lose my job, I'll be at Target with the red shirt
I know, that's fine.
with some khakis.
How can I help you, please?
Whatever I gotta do to keep baby girl in school, keep the mortgage paid, and keep the lights on, is gonna get done. And that should be the most important thing you're looking for in a man. Not what he does, not what he drives, or any of those things. So keep it locked till deathinfo.com. If you got questions, we get a rack of questions.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So till deathinfo.
Vows
yeah.
Bring up all these questions.
Till deathinfo@gmail.com. Keep it locked. We'll be back next week. Your man Kil.
And I'm Dr. Roz.